Hi guys, welcome to Algorithms Made Easy. In this video, we'll go through the question palindromic substrings. Given a string, your task is to count how many palindromic substrings are there in that string. The substrings with different start indexes or end indexes are counted as different substrings even when they consist of the same characters. So in the first example, we have ABC and the output is 3 because there are 3 palindromic substrings, each of length 1. In the example 2, you have AAA and there are 6 palindromic substrings because the start index and end index, if they are different, we need to consider it as a different palindromic substring. And so there can be 6 permutations of this particular string and therefore there are 6 palindromic strings that can be formed out of it. So now let's see how we can solve this question. The first approach would be a brute force approach wherein you will be looping and checking the substrings of all the lengths. That is, you can have n into n plus 1 by 2 different substrings from a given string. And so you will have to check all those combinations and find out whether those are palindromic or not. If that are palindromic, then you can add it in your count. So the time complexity over there would be n square for the number of substrings and total time taken for checking whether a particular substring is a palindromic string or not would be n. So the time complexity for brute force would become O of n cube and the space complexity would be O of 1 because you would not require any extra space to do so. I'm leaving that approach up to you so that you can try it out if you want. We'll see some optimized approaches to solve this problem in this particular video. So let's see the first one. We'll take this particular string for our example in this video, and over here if you see the number of substrings or the number of strings that are made starting from this first character, considering all these characters would be these substrings. Similarly, if you start with B, you will get these many substrings. If you start with C, you will get these and so on. So these are the total number of substrings that you can get. Now, according to the first rule that we have for a palindromic string is that a single character is always considered a palindrome, and so these strings or these substrings would be palindromic. So we can add these in our count. Secondly, when you have 2 characters, if both the characters are equal, you can say that those are palindrome. So from all these, we have only this one that are 2 characters and both characters are equal. So we can add this one also in our count. For the rest of the cases, what we need to do is that if my first and the last character matches and if my middle part is a palindrome, then I can say that whole substring considering my start, end and the middle character is also a palindrome. So over here you can see that my B is equivalent to B and this is the middle string which is also a palindrome. I need to add that string as a palindromic string. Similarly with this case. So these all strings that are there are my palindromic substrings from this particular string that is given to us as the input, and if you count it, the number comes out to be 9, and so our answer is 9. Now let's go ahead and see how did we find that out. So our first approach would be the DP approach. So we'll take a matrix that is of length, my length of the string cross length of the string, and my rows would denote the start and my columns would denote the end letter, right? So if you consider this particular box, it would be the string starting with letter A and ending with letter A, that is only the letter A. If you go to this particular box, then that would be starting with letter A and having these characters in it, or ending with letter B. So this is 0th index, this is first index. So starting from 0th index and ending at first index. If you see this C and this B, it would be starting at second index and ending at 4th index. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th index. So that would be CBB. Fine. So now you know how to read this particular matrix. Now let's go ahead and fill it out. So our first case was that if the length is 1, that is if you have only a single character, that would obviously be a palindrome. And your single character in this particular matrix would be where I and j are equal. For example, 0 and 0. So this is considering only this A character. Over here, if you go from B to B, this is considering only B character. So for this diagonal, you will be writing true. The second base case is for the string of length 2, wherein you will be taking into account whether both those characters are equal or not. Before that, are we going to consider this particular area? Let's see, starting from the first index and ending at the 0th index. Is that string possible? No. We are going to go from left to right, not from right to left. So that is not possible, and so these cells would be of no use to us. Now for the second case. For the second case, if you see over here, your start character, that is B, and your end character, that is also B. Both are equal, and so this particular index would be filled with true because this is a palindromic substring. What is the string? The string is this string, B and B. Now coming on with our other case, that is for a length greater than 2. Let's consider this case starting from A and ending at C, that has all these characters. Now the first condition that we need to check is whether these both characters are equal or not. Over here, these are not equal, so it fails over here itself, and so we can simply write false. Now if you consider this B and B, that is this particular string, both these characters are equal and the middle string is also a palindrome. How did you find that out? Is dp of start plus 1 and end minus 1. That is, this is the start character, start plus 1 and end minus 1. That is the particular substring for which you want the answer. So over here, if you see that, it comes to be dp of 2 cross 2, and that is true. So we can say that, okay, my characters are equal and my middle string is a palindrome, so this whole string can also be said to be a palindrome. Moving forward and filling everything, we get this. Again, if we try to see for this particular case, that is from this C to this C, we have this particular substring and my start and end are equal, and my middle string, that is dp of 3, 4, which is this. So this is also true, that is this is also a palindrome, so the whole substring is also a palindrome. If you fill the remaining matrix, you will get this particular result. Now, while you are putting true, you need to also increase that into the count variable that you will be having. And after you do that, your result will come out to be 9. So now what is it that you have done here? Here you will be traversing diagonally, and for the first base case, you will fill whether the length is 1, true for all. If the length is true, true wherever your character at I is equal to character at j. And for remaining, you will check the start and end character, that is character of I and j, if that are equal, and if your middle string is also a palindrome, that means your combined string is also a palindrome, and so you will be writing true for that case. So using these rules, we are going to fill our matrix and then find the count also. The time complexity over here would be O of n square, or you can say you will be going all over this matrix which is of size n square. So that would be your time complexity, and your space complexity would also be O of n square because you are going to take this particular matrix. Now that you know this particular approach, let's go and first write the code for this, and then we'll move on to the next solution, which is a more optimized one. So the first and the foremost thing that I'm going to do over here is write the base case where if the length of string is 0, return 0. After that, I'll take n, which is equal to s dot length, and I'll take a Boolean array. With that, I also need a result or a count variable. Now, if you want, you can write the base cases separately, or you can write them in a single for loop also. For clarity, let's take it in a different loop. So base case 1, which is length equal to 1. Over here, for everything with length equal to 1 I'll be setting as true. So those would be my diagonal elements. And so let's take a for loop, and my dp of I and I would be true. Now comes the second base case, that is length equals to 2. So there I'll be calculating the character at I is equal to character at I plus 1 or not. So over here I'll only go till n minus 1 because I am taking I plus 1 also. So int I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1 and I plus plus, dp of I and I plus 1 would be equal to s dot caret I, if that is equals to s dot caret I plus 1. So that is going to be my result for this. Now my general case. General case is for length greater than 2, and that is given by if my char of start is equal to char of end and my middle substring, that is dp of I plus 1 and j minus 1 is true. So this is my general case. So let's write it out. So the outer for loop over here would be for length. So int length equal to 3, I am starting with 3, length is less than equal to n, and I am doing a length plus plus. My inner loop would be int I equal to 0 and j equal to I plus length minus 1. So that is the length I am trying to see. So from 0 till this. And my condition would be while my j is less than n, because that is going to be my edge case or my edge of the matrix. And I'll do a I plus plus and j plus plus. So over here my dp of I and j would be equal to this particular condition. So that means if my start and end are equal and the middle one is also a palindrome. So that's it. Now over here I haven't increased the count. So the count would be increased over here and it would be increased over here if my this dp is set to true. And similarly over here if my this dp is set to true. So that's the dp way. Finally return the result or the count. Let's run this code and we need to initialize it, and it's giving a perfect result. Let's submit this, and it got submitted. The time complexity, as we talked about over here, is O of n square, and the space complexity is also O of n square. The only thing that you can do for this is, instead of writing these two loops, you can actually combine all these into this particular loop. Let's comment this out and run the code, and it's giving a perfect result. You can submit this one also and it would be submitted. It's just combining the loops into one. Now let's go ahead and see how we can improve this further. So instead of using the space, can we reduce the space complexity to O of 1? Let's see that approach over here. So for that we'll take the center and expand to both sides from that center. Now what is going to be our center? If you take this particular example, your center would be C, and you will expand in these directions and check whether these characters are equal or not, and then accordingly add to its count. If you are having an even length string, your center would be the combination of two center values, and then you would be expanding on these two sides. Now how are we going to expand over it? Let's see that. So for this particular center, which is consisting only one index, your I and j would be equal. So first you will check whether your centers are equal. If that is the case, you will expand and check whether the characters in those directions are equal or not. So since these are equal, you'll again expand further and check for these conditions. Now your A and B are not equal, so it fails. So you cannot say that this part is a palindrome. Suppose this would have been equal, you would have expanded further. But now your I goes out of bounds and so you stop. So these are your boundary conditions, that your I should be greater than or equal to 0 and your J should be less than the length. Now let's consider an example with center combining two values. So over here you would check whether these two are equal or not. These are equal, so you are going to expand in both the directions. Since C is also equal, you would expand in further. And now your J goes out of bound and so you stop. So this is the second approach that could be used. So over here, only thing that you use is I and J variables and not the matrix as a whole. So your space complexity reduces over here and becomes O of 1. But your time complexity would still be O of n square because you are going to check for each character and expand on it. So for a single character, you would be checking for length n. For two characters combined, that is for even length, you will be checking for length n minus 1. So total you would be going on 2n minus 1 length, and for each length you are going to check for n characters, and so that would become 2n minus 1 multiplied by n. That is going to be your time complexity for this particular approach. And your space complexity, as mentioned, only for I and J, so that becomes O of 1. So let's go ahead and write the code for this approach. So in this approach also you would be needing this particular condition, and you can take this array out and I'll be deleting all the code now. So over here let's take a character array, and now we'll take a for loop over our character array. Over here I need to check for both odd and even lengths. So my center for odd would be I and I, and my center for even length would be I and I plus 1. So I'll be counting each time for a center that how many palindromes can be formed if I consider that as a center and move outwards. So my result would be the result plus the output of number of palindromes I can form, with first one that is odd count and the second one that is even count. And finally this result is returned. Now let's write the isPalindrome function. So this is my start point, end point and my character array. So over here I'll take a count that would be for this particular center. The count would initially be 0, and I'll write a while loop with all the conditions. So while my boundary conditions are true, that is my S is greater than equal to 0 and my end is less than this array.length. And if these characters are also equal, that is C of S equals to C of E. In that case, I'll be doing a S minus minus, that is going into left and increasing my right, that is E plus plus. With this, I'll also do a count plus plus. Finally, return count. So this count would be the count for the centers that are given to us, and that is going to be added in my result. So this would eventually give me my expected answer. So let's run this code, and it's giving a perfect result. Let's submit this, and it got submitted. So the time complexity is still O of n square, and the space complexity has reduced from O of n square to O of 1. There is one more optimization possible for this particular question, which is by using Mancher's algorithm. I'll not be covering that in this video. We already have made a video for Mancher's algorithm. The link to it is in the top. You can go and check it out. So for this video, that's it. I'll see you with another one. So till then, keep learning, keep coding. Bye-bye.